So hello everyone, we will be today looking into keywords and how to take the input from user, how to use comments in Python, what are the data types in Python. We will be checking all these things today. So let's start with it. So initially we will just see what are the keywords. Okay, what are the keywords in Python. So let's go to initially the description part, right? So in the description you can just see your keywords written, right? So in the keywords you could you can directly see here keywords are the reserved words that hold a specific meaning and are part of the language syntax. So keywords, they hold some specific meaning and they are part of the language syntax in the sense Python programming language syntax. And they are usually the reserved words used for some specific meaning, some specific purpose, right? For example, if you want to return any value, you will use return keyword. If you want to for example continue any loop, you will use continue keyword. If you want to delete a variable or something, you can use delete keyword. Def is used for the function basically to define something. Accept, finally, these are try, these are the keywords used in try, accept, finally. Okay, import is the keyword used to import something. Global is the keyword to make some variable as global, right? So break is used to break any loops or break any loop. Okay, just to break any ongoing programming loop, right? So lambda is used for the lambda function kind of syntax or programming, right? So these are the keywords which are reserved for some specific meaning or some specific purpose. Okay, and they are the part of the language syntax, in the sense they are basically used in the Python programming languages. So these are the pattern matching keywords. Okay, match and case. Soft keywords are type. Okay, so total keywords counts are 35 are hard keywords and 2 are pattern matching keywords. One is soft keyword. Okay, now like if you want to check out the list of keywords in Python, that how many keywords are present, so in this case import keyword print keyword.kw list. Okay, so you can just check all these things by using the syntax. By importing the keyword and just print keyword.kw list, you can just check the entire list of the keywords. Now, for example, if from is a keyword, import is a keyword. So from math is a library. Okay, so I'm just importing from math, import pi, print pi. So this will print the value of pi. For example, once I run this, okay, run without debugging. Oh, 1 minute, what happened? So run without debugging, right? Run without debugging, and you can just simply see here the value of the, when I run it, you will see the value of the pi is printed here. So from math is a library, import pi is a constant and it has a float value, and once you print pi, you will get the value of pi, right? Now later, let me comment out this. Okay, I don't want to use this, I'm commenting it. After commenting this, and let's go to the next part. After commenting this, you can just see x is equals to 1 2 3. I just took some value in x variable, then same value of x variable I'm putting it in y, and just print out x is y. So once you do that, what is happening is, once you do that, you will get true, right? You will get true. So x is equals to this and y is equals to x, print x is y. So once you get this, you will get true, right? Once you get true, why it is giving you true? Because the value of x, the value which is given in x is same as that the value which is given in y. Now import math. Okay, so using the import keyword again, I'm importing a math library and print math dot square root 64, and once you print the square root, it will be 8. Now let's consider what we will be doing next is x is equals to, let me write something as global. Okay, now what I have done is I have put the value of x as global, so the value of x is global here. Now I will be defining a function. Let's consider xyz, enter. Okay, and now I will mention here that variable as global using the global keyword. I will make that variable as global. Global in the sense it will be accessible even outside this function. It is not only limited to this function, but it is accessible to anywhere outside the function. The variable is made global. Inside, outside, it is accessible everywhere in the entire programming language, right? So I have made this variable as global, and I'm just mentioning x is equals to x into 2. Once you mention x is equals to x into 2 and print x, and print x, right? Once you print x, and try to just define one function xyz. Like trying to call this function. Let's see what is happening here. I have just put the logic of x into 2 so that whatever the value it will print square of it, and print x, and the variable which is defined outside the function is made global using the global keyword, and then the function is being called. Right, now let's run this. It is global. It is printing global. Why? Because the logic here is x into 2. That is print x, right? उन लोगों ने कंप्लेन किया है. कौन है ये लड़की जिसने कंप्लेन कर दी? So this is what I have done is I have write just try, accept, and finally like I'm using try, accept, and finally keywords. Okay, so in try I just print 1 by 0, then accept 0 division error, print division by 0. I've just put some little bit logic here. So what is happening here is ki print 1 by 0, so that is not being getting printed because it gives some zero division error, right? So it is giving a zero division error, hence the loop went into this print division by division by 0, and later this is executed last. So these two codes are being printed, division by 0, and this is executed last. So this is how like we use the keywords. So if you see in the list also, why I'm telling you this is because in the list also you can see here try, then accept, and finally these are the keywords present. So this is just one example which I tried to give you with respect to try, accept, finally, all the three keywords, so that how it is being printed. This gives the zero division error, so this was not printed because it tried printing this, but it gives the zero division error. So this was printed division by 0, and then finally this is executed last. Now why both are printed, like we will discuss this in detail. Basically all these keywords have a purpose. So why both of these are printed, like why finally is executed, only this would have been executed, why finally is executed. So I will give you all this concept details later in the exception handling part of Python, right? So we are not currently checking the very detailed part of this about try, exception, and finally, but we just wanted to see that how we can use these kind of keywords in the Python programming language syntax. Now later, let's see, for example, I define some, let me give something as a comma b and return So when you define sum function a comma b and return a plus b, print sum 7 comma 9, like what I did here, I just defined a function named sum with two variables in it, like two parameters in it, and I'm just trying to like return the sum value of those two parameters, or two parameters passed. So and I want to call this function, and I want to print the value, like the returned value of that function. So what I'm doing here is print sum and 7 comma 9, right? So this is 16, which is being printed. 7 and 9, the value of 7 and 9 is printed as 16. So what we have done here is we have just defined a function. So def and return is the key like keyword used here. Def and return is the keyword used here. Return is returning a value. So return is a keyword basically used to return a value, right? So this is how we have like used this particular code. Okay, now let me open a new file, new Python file. Okay, new Python file, and let us execute something else here. Okay, let me show you what are single line comments and multi-line comments now. So what are single line like multi-line comments? If you want to just like if you just want to comment out the entire code, okay, the entire code, whatever you have written, you can use multi-line comment, which is denoted by this 3 commas, okay, 3 quotations. You can just see. So this is the multi-line comment. It will comment out your exact entire code. And for example, if you want to just comment out the, okay, let me remove this multi-line code, and I just want to comment out everything single, like single comments. Okay, if you want to comment out only the single comments like this, but this will be very tedious, right? Because it will comment only a single line. Okay, so only single line of the Python programming language. So when single line comments are used, hence because it was an entire set of entire the set of programming statements, it was, hence I used multi-line comment here. When you are commenting only so when you want to comment all the statements, right, all the statements in the Python programming language, you are using multi-line comment. When you want to comment only a single statement in the Python programming languages, for example, print A, print B, I want to comment only one single statement, then we are using a single comment here, right? So this you have to keep like this is how you use comments in Python, both multi-line and single line. Let's go to now okay, so now let's go to, we will see how to take the input from the user. For example, if I want to put any input, so how to take the input? Generally how we do is, like, we give this kind of input. I have already defined, like, given this input in the syntax, and I just want to print it, right? For example, print age. That's it. If I want to do this, and it will print the age. Print age. So age is equals to 7 and print age, right? So 7 will be printed here, right? Now, for example, this was the input which I gave in the programming language, like in the syntax while writing the program. Now I don't want to give any input into the program. I want to the program should be in such a way that it should take random inputs. If I want to even change the random inputs, then I don't have to change anything in the program itself. Okay, so to take the input from the user, how basically we will take is like using the input statement, because input statement allows us to execute, like to take the input from the user, in which users themselves will define the values of variables. Like I will myself define any kind of a values. Like if I want to even change the values, then I can change it accordingly, right? For example, I will do age is equals to, let me write this, int. Now let's consider input. For example, I will mention here enter age. New is equals to age plus 1, right? So new is equals to age plus 1. I have mentioned this logic here just to and let me take name is equals to, let's consider I want to take the input of name also. So you can just see for the age input I have used here integer, whereas for the name input we haven't used anything like as integer or something. Enter name, I will just mention here enter name, and I will be using colon. So okay, what I'm doing here is like I have put I'm using this input is like I can define any kind of a value here, age like 1, 7, 78, 91, anything I can define here, and that value should be integer. Okay, so age should be integer. It should, this input not should not consider it as a string, hence we are using here int, right? So and then new, why this new is given? Because age plus 1, so that right now your age is this and the next year you will be of this age, so age plus 1 year increment. Okay, because I want to put print age of today's and the next year age, next year you will be, right? So we are trying to put your current age is this and next year you will be. Okay, so we are trying to put that logic, hence plus 1 is given here. And we are taking the input of name. We are just taking this input because input, when we use this particular input function, it takes the value as a string. You can just see it takes the value as a string. Read a string from standard input, it takes the value as string, whereas int is used to convert a number or string into an integer, right? Convert a number or a string to an integer or return 0 if no arguments are given. So you can just also see the explanation out here that why we are using int here along with the input function, because input function will take the value as a string and will read will take a value as a string, and we want to convert that string into integer. And for name we don't need any kind of a integer conversion, hence we are just using as input, right? And print is hey, and then the name, and the next year, like your name will be printed, and the next year is string new. So here your string, like again, I have used your string function because like whatever the new value will become, that will be in a string form. So let's run this. What happened? Why it's giving the input? Yeah, so it gave me finally the output, and let's see what is the output here. Age is for example 67. Let me mention here. Oh God. 67, and if I press enter, name is for example, let's take Shalini. Okay, and once you take Shalini, hey Shalini, next year you will be 68. So that is how it's being printed here. Okay, let me test out this, what is happening here. If I just don't use this new, and even if I use only new here, what is being printed? कौन है ये लड़की? Oh, what is used here? And run without debugging. Let's consider, what should I mention here as Kavya. Let's mention the name as Kavya. Hey, next year you will be new. Can only concatenate string. Oh, so yeah, initially we used string here. So when we used string, it gave us the output. You can just see it gave us the output here. Enter age 67, enter name Shalini. Hey Shalini, next year you will be 68. So it is giving us the output here, right? This one. Whereas when I removed string from new, this particular new is the variable which is being used here. Okay, new is storing the value of the next year, because it is incrementing age plus 1, so it is storing the value of next year. So when we use only new, what it is giving the type error as can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So when you are using this concatenate while printing, it can concatenate only string, it cannot concatenate integer, hence we have to convert this new into string, right? So this is why we are converting the new into string here. So once you convert it into string and try to run now and just see what is happening, whether it gives the output or not. Oh, it's printing 56 here, sorry. Run. I think now it should give the output. So I'm just printing again 56 here. Okay, I'm just mentioning the name as it will give 57. Hey Kavya, next year you will be 57, right? So this is how you can take the input of both. Like I just showcased you like how to take the input. When you use input, the variable is considered as a string. You have to, when it is essential, you have to convert them into integer, and next year you will be yeah, here also, like you cannot concatenate integer, you have to concatenate all string values. So that is how you have to play out, right? Now let's consider if I want to take multiple inputs in Python, how I will take it. For example, we have already seen that how to take the input, okay, in Python we have already seen previously. Now I want to see how to take the multiple inputs in Python at the same time. So let's consider inputs is equals to input, and I want to mention as, for example, I want to enter 3 fruits, okay, and let me just check here out as dot split. So what is happening here, when you enter 3 fruits, you will see that all those 3 fruits are being splitted. Okay? So just I will mention like what it happens when I do this. It will print fruits what is happening here. Invalid syntax, perhaps you forget a comma. Okay, let me do this case, right, and just try to run. I just want to enter all the inputs at one time, and now run without debugging. Okay. Enter 3 fruits. Enter 3 fruits as, for example, I will enter oranges, oranges, bananas, apple. Enter. Okay, let me remove this. उन लोगों ने कंप्लेन किया है, कौन है ये लड़की, इन लोगों ने बोला जाएगा, उन लोगों ने कंप्लेन किया उससे झगड़े करने के लिए देख रहे करके. Let me write here something as sapota, apple, sapota, and plum. Okay, now it should give me some out. So yeah, you can see here finally I have to like I entered 3 inputs together. Yeah, I entered 3 inputs together. So I just entered 3 inputs together here, as I mentioned here, input 3 fruits, and I just tried to split them, and I just want to see like what kind of output it gives when we take multiple inputs together. So when I take the multiple inputs together, I took 3 inputs, apple, sapota, and plum. So it gave me the fruits like apple, sapota, and plum in a list kind of a format. Yeah, you can mention, you can just see like fruits, this fruits was given here, so the fruits is being printed, and the inputs, whatever the 3 fruits I entered, that has been given in a list kind of a format while using the split function. So we'll just go through this. Return a list of substrings in the string using separate as a separator. So you can just see like after using the split function, what happens is when you want to take multiple inputs, it returns a list of substrings in the string using separate as the separator string. So this is clear, the separator used to split the string. This is cleared, right? After that, now let us see okay, let us see what we can do is we will see how to use the data types. Okay, how to use the data types, let's see that. For example, if how to use the data types in the sense how to check the data types. So data types in the sense, for example, if you like what data types do, like we just want to check the type of the type of whatever we want to whatever we want to type, or we just want to check like what type it holds. We just want to identify the data types of the different values here, right? So type conversion, like it refers to converting the values of one data type into another data type. Basically, that is what type conversion is being used, because it wants to convert one value into another value. So here, like before going towards type conversion, we will be first initially checking like what is the type of the value. Like whatever value we will try to print, or we want to identify, we just want to check what is the type of that value, whether it is float, integer, string, what it is exactly, right? So first of all, let me write as type and mention here as, for example, I would like to mention something. Okay, let me write a random string. So once I mention this random string, let me run this and let me check what it gives me in the output. Yeah, so I want to print the type of this particular, okay, I just want to identify like what type it gives for this particular value. So it is giving me string, because this type function has identified this value as the string function, as it is in the quotes, right? For example, let me remove this quote, and if I want to identify this as, for example, I want to put something as 4 5 6 7, right? So now let's run, and I just want to see like what type it returns. It returns integer. It has identified this value as integer. Now let's consider if I want to mention this same value as float. For example, let me write here something like this, and I just want to check like what values it returns here. For this particular, it returns float, because this type function has identified this value as float, right? So it returns float. Now for example, now let's mention type true. Okay, so let's run without debugging and see here print type is, I just want to see like what it returns for true. So for true, here it has returned as bool, because it identified this value as a boolean value, right? For example, now it's false. Let's instead of using true, I'm using false, and I'm using this in the quotations. So I just wanted to see whether now also it returns a boolean value or it returns something else to us. Initially we just mentioned true and it retained a boolean value. I just want to see when I put false in quotations whether it returns boolean or it returns something else. It returned me string, because when it was in quotation it identified it as a string value, not as a bool value. Whereas if I remove the quotations here right now, So now it will identify as a, it is expected to identify as bool value. Okay, false should be F, right, something like this. Okay, so false should be F, and now it returns bool. So initially when I used this for F as small f, so it was telling as not defined, whereas when I used as this particular capital when it is returning the bool value, right? So even you have to keep this in mind. For example, let's go with the true also. If I mention here true as small, okay, so it's giving me the predefined true and I have to use this, and then it returns me bool value. Otherwise it will give error, and if it is in quotations it will give me string. So this is how you have to be cautious about these things, these pointers. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one brace was missing here. Let me run it now. Okay, I just want to see what happens when you run this. So you can just see when you run this, it returns me list, right? So it identified this value as the list type. So this type function identified the value within this function as list type, right? For example, let me replace this list with something like key value pair. Key value pair in the sense dictionary pair, ठीक है? तो key value pair का क्या आएगा? कंप्लेन होने वाली है वो. So this is a dictionary. It is I defined in brace brackets I have defined a key value pair. So this type is recognized as a dictionary. Classes dictionary, I have identified this as a dictionary, right? Like we have identified this as a dictionary. The type has recognized this value as a dictionary part while printing. So this is how we can identify the different types using the print function and the type function. Using print function, the type will be printed. So type is used to usually identify like what kind of a type this values belong to. Okay, now let me comment out this initially. I will use a single line comment. As it's a single line, I will be using single line comment. For the above code, we have used multi-line, right? Now, for example, if I want to convert this type, I want to do a type conversion. Let's consider I want to convert type of integer to float. So how we will do that, right? For example, let's consider num1 equals to, let's mention 89, and num2 equals to mention 65. Type I will just check with, like, we will just check like what type it holds. And उन लोगों ने कंप्लेन किया है, पूरी बात बताई गई है. So let's consider. Now let's consider what I have done here is I want to just identify the type. Okay, we are just trying to identify the type here. So I just want to check, like I have given a num 89 and num2 is 65, and I just want to add it. After adding, like, what are the types of the result, type of the initial variables. So it's giving integer, integer, integer out here, right? So this is how you can convert. Now for example, let's mention if I want to convert, now let's consider I want to convert here. So if you go and just check this particular part, we have done your type conversion. For example, new was integer initially, but integer and string couldn't be added together in the print statement. We couldn't add integer and string together together. So hence using this concatenation operator, we couldn't add string and integer together. Hence we have converted integer value into string, and then we have retrieved the value later of this particular print statement. We tried printing it and retrieve the value of the next year, right? So similarly, if you want to convert this integer into, suppose, float, so you will be doing the type conversion, and you will be using float there, float for res. So once you do float for res and try to print it, then in that case you will get this type of the result as, instead of class int, you will retrieve it as float. So that's it. I think we have discussed already a lot of things, lot of pointers here. So we will be discussing other pointers like operators and then the format method, string format method, in the next video, and we will be also discussing operators, right? So in this video we have discussed today keywords and how to take the input from the users, and about the data types in the sense just to identify like what type does the value hold, right? And we also have seen the difference, like about in terms of recognizing bool type, like when you use the true and false, which are already predefined, then it will give you with capital letters. True and false are with the capital letters, first capital letter. So that will give you bool. Otherwise for the false, it will not recognize, it will give error. Like if you use small true and small false, it will give you error. And if you use it in quotations, it will give you string. So these are all the like changes, or how programming responds us how the programming gives us the output. We have seen all those things, and we will meet in next video. That's it. Thank you for today.